Hello, my friends. I welcome you to another interview at Aditya Talks. And my name is Aditya Vardhan Singh Magil, and today it's a pleasure to serve. But today, another Saturday, another story. Joining us from Delhi NCR area is Mr. Sam Baisla, and he is a Gen Z marketer and a youth icon in India. And he spreads and mentors youth throughout India and inspires them to take bold steps and do something for themselves in life. So anyway, though, sir, welcome to the show. And how are you doing?
Thank you very much, Aditya. It's a pleasure. In fact, after so many follow-ups that you had to go through to finally got me here, I'm looking forward for this discussion. And you're doing a wonderful job. Good
Thank you,
work.
sir. Uh, I'm also. I was also. This is a highly anticipated interview for me, and I hope I will learn a lot today. But without a further ado, let's begin, sir. For the benefit of our viewers, can you give us a little bit more insight into your journey and how did you reach this point in your life?
My story is a long one, in fact, and I come from two Indias. And I come from two generations, in fact. So I was born in a world wherein there was no internet, there was no mobile phone, there was no computer. In fact, we didn't have the cable television also. The only news channel or the TV channel that we had was Doordarshan. And the DD Metro, in fact, came very late. And I also was born from in a family, and then I had my initial education wherein I had to walk to our school 3 kilometers on foot. It's a rural place in Haryana, somewhere in Faridabad district, and that's where I had my initial education in uh, in a government school. So when I came to Delhi after completing my 10th, I accidentally or incidentally, I would say, took science stream, and this was all English medium. I could not even speak Hindi. I mean, forget about the English that I'm speaking today. I could not speak even Hindi. Whenever I tried to open my mouth, the rural language of my village would come out of my mouth, and people would look at me as if I'm some kind of alien or what. Now that was the world that I came from, and I was born to parents who were not educated. In fact, I was the first person in my entire relations. All these uncles and aunts and distant relations. Wherein I did 10th standard. I was the first person to do that, of course. Now that's the kind of world that I come from. Now, what am I doing? In fact, it's a fascinating story. I have been able to build around 10 startups, invested in three of them, recently acquired one and invested in another one. I'm running five companies simultaneously today, so that's a pretty much good journey. Almost a decade of entrepreneurship. I worked with Americans, with Europeans, I built businesses with them, consulted with them. Uh, and then before that, I worked in corporates about 8 years or so. So I've done a lot of things in my life. Uh, and this is the kind of journey that when I go and talk to people, and I especially, young people like you, I tell them that you are, in fact, a very fascinating generation because the kind of time that you're born and you are like very young, at that the mobile technology, internet technology, all these technologies are just you know growing at the moment. That's very nascent. It's very baby at the moment, and you are growing in a world wherein you can have any information at the fingertip. You can reach out to people wherever you want to. You can learn almost everything, and you can literally build careers around your passions. And that's a fascinating world to be in. I would say that I was born just a little too early for that excitement, but it's a fantastic world. I mean, I can talk about a lot of other stuff, but that's a kind of journey that I have.
Yes, sir. It's a very interesting story, sir. You come from a very peculiar background, but you managed and through all the hardships you came here. And of course, I agree with you on that point that it is pretty easy to follow passion and do what you like and learn whatever you want in this era. But I also believe that learning what you want to and doing what you want to is possible in any era. It's just a lot harder, and you need a lot more serious and strong will. So you had a strong will, that's why you're here. Not many people would have able to like do the things that you have done. So thank you for sharing that. But moving on, sir, can you share a little bit insights about your three ventures: brand Samosa, brand Bugbuck, and Decoder? And there's one more, Nexel. I wish to hear from you more on this topic.
Oh, brand Samosa, we're working with small to medium businesses. We're trying to help them grow and win in the digital age. You see, what happens is that people are now on digital. The customers are on digital. In fact, the majority of the employees that they have are the people who have grown in a world wherein they are used to digital. They are using mobile phone, they're on social media and everything. And these businesses need to upgrade themselves and adopt technology so that they can interact with their customers, they can automate a lot of processes, and they can grow their revenue. They can be fast paced and meet and match the pace of the market and the customer. Unfortunately, most of these businesses are run by people who are not very technical in nature. They are not technology savvy. They're not very educated. They don't have a lot of money also. And on the other hand, you would see there are hundreds and thousands of SaaS companies who have softwares, who have processes, and everything is available. What we do is we pick up those processes, those technology tools, those softwares, and we find out the problems that these businesses are facing, especially on the revenue side, and we plug in those with them. So we implement solutions for them. The technology one, we help them in building their brands, we help them growing, and we help them in training their teams. So that's what we do in Brand Samosa. Brand Bugbug is a new age creative marketing communication agency, wherein we help these brands in these startups and small businesses to tell their stories in a creative way, using all the kind of visual media, social communication, all that of stuff. Then there are two more companies that I run, which I've not mentioned. One is Decoder Technologies. This is where we are providing technology training skills to young people and, of course, the professionals. So people who do not have any technological understanding, but they want to get into technology, data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, blockchain, crypto, cybersecurity, no code, low code. You talk about these five, six major technologies. So we have programs wherein we teach these technologies to the people in schools and colleges, and of course in the professional world. There is a recent company that I've invested, which is Tech Pro Labs. We've recently named the company as 21st Labs. So we set up robotics labs in schools and colleges. So there's a kit that we send. It has about 40 components in it. And if you can receive it, and then with our online training, our mentors will teach you, and you can build robots using that kit. And you can build approximately 100 robots using that kit. And so robotics is one of the things. Then 3D printing, IoT, home automation. You can build your own circuits. You can be an engineer, electronics. There's a lot of things that we're doing in that company. The last is NEXEL is not a company per se. It's more of a community. I'm trying to talk to young people and help them build startups or go into entrepreneurship. I genuinely believe that we need to have more people who can create jobs. At the moment, unfortunately, we have more people who need or want jobs, and there are not enough jobs. And the jobs that are available today, unfortunately, automation and robotics and all these technologies are killing those jobs. I mean, by the time you come out of your school and your college, for that matter, most of the jobs that you not know today, yeah, 70 to 80% jobs will not be available for you. So and that's unfortunately, nobody's teaching, nobody's telling the young kids that, look, you're spending your time in your school, you're spending in time in your college, and the jobs that they are preparing you for, the skills that they're giving you, those jobs are not going to be there when you go out in the market. Automation will be there, everything is gone. So what I'm trying to do in this initiative is that I'm trying to go to young people and tell them, like, look, you need to learn technology. You need to prepare for the jobs that will be available when you go to the market, right? So you learn technology because the jobs will be in the technology. And then you learn the skills of entrepreneurship and building your products and solutions and create jobs. And what are the skills for that? So sales, marketing, you need to have people management, all those skills, so that you can be starting your own ventures rather than going out and asking for jobs from the people who will not have any jobs for you. So NEXEL basically is an initiative which stands for Next Generation Entrepreneurs and Leaders of the World. And that's the kind of work that we are doing. And to spread the message around that was the only reason I took that road trip that you mentioned in 2018 early, wherein I traveled 5,000 kilometers, talked to approximately 10,000 parents, students, and teachers also, and try to tell them that, look, the world is exciting, but it's also very dangerous at the moment because the change is happening very rapidly. And you're sitting here in your little school or little corner of your home and you're thinking that you're doing the thing and the world is changing, it's not going to hit you. You got to be preparing yourself, going out there and make your own life and take control of that. So that's largely what I'm doing. And
Yes.
then I do this thing on social media, right? I talk to people, I share content, I share my story so that more people will read, get inspired, and we can exchange value.
Um, uh, how many people are in the Nexel community? As you said, it's a community. So how many people, roughly?
We have people from Indian subcontinent, so India, of course, and the neighboring countries of Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, all these countries. And then we have people from Middle East, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and other countries, Kuwait, Bahrain, everything. And then we have approximately 10 countries from Africa. So it's actually a global community in that sense, and we have approximately 6,000 members in it.
Hmm.
Mostly of them are investors and entrepreneurs, small
Um,
investors, small entrepreneurs, large entrepreneurs, that kind of thing, young, old, mixed.
so that Nexel is, I think, is a great program, and most of in India, actually, the problem is that parents and Indian mentality is कि नौकरी करो, आगे बढ़ो, नौकरी करो, IIT जाओ. And in fact, in IIT also now, I've seen many students in IIT are not getting jobs, and it's a very dire situation. And people are now realizing that 4 साल हम लोगों ने पढ़ाई की है बर्बादी के लिए कि हमें नौकरी भी नहीं मिलेगी. So basically, I totally agree with you on that. And moving on, sir, you have done great work in marketing as well, but I want your your view on this. How like how does marketing trends have changed over the years, and has it become difficult with digitization, or easy to due to reach? Which form do you prefer? And please share your take on this, and also your customer perspective.
Look, marketing at the very core of it, at the very fundamental of is storytelling, right? You have a vision or the view of the world in your mind, and you want more people to listen to that story and believe in that story. Once people start believing in a particular story, they start following you, they start doing what you want them to do. So that's essentially what marketing is all about. And storytelling has been there since the dawn of humanity, right? uh, we are essentially a species who grew so fast because we were storytellers. So we would listen to something, we would talk to different people, and that's how things. What is changing basically is the medium of communication. And because of the nature of the medium of the communication changes, then the nature of the messaging also changes. So if you can understand it this way, that marketing or the marketing companies and the marketing dollars always follow where the eyeballs are, right? Where your attention is. So initially, when people were reading newspapers, advertisement was in newspapers. Then radio came in, and then advertisement followed on radio. Then television came in, and then advertisers went on to television. Then email, and then social media, internet, and now internet from the laptop or the desktop has gone to mobile phones now. So wherever the attention is following, the marketers will keep following that. Now, what happens is, however, now there is a big difference that is happening. That when I tell a story, I need to understand that what kind of story will stick to you, right? Because you have your interest, you have your behavior, you have your emotions and everything. More people are spending a lot of time on internet, and they're glued to their skins, or I mean screens, on like 4 to 5 hours average. People, the time that people spend. So what is happening is that the platforms like Facebook and everything, they have a huge data about you and people like you, for example. So as a marketer, I know exactly what kind of person you are, what you like, what you don't like, what your preferences are. And based on that, I can customize my message to you. And I can also follow you wherever you go with a customized message. And that is a very strong thing that has happened and which is happening. The power that the marketers now have, or these platforms have, the analytics that they have, the data that they have, is huge and unprecedented. You would be surprised probably that Facebook hires neuroscientists, psychology professors from different universities to study human behavior, and then go back and tell their engineers what kind of algorithm they need to build, so
Yes.
that they can tap into the human behavior and their neurology. And it's almost like that there is a huge giant organization somewhere and trying to give you drugs. Okay, it's that. And that's unprecedented. So that's a shift that is happening. So in a way, from the business point of view, it's extremely powerful. I mean, now a small business doesn't have to spend tons of money on reaching out to people. Now they can, using a Facebook ad or anything, find out that okay, this is the kind of customer that is more likely to buy my product, and they can customize their ads and they can show their ad again and again to these people, and the return on investment will be very high. So it's easier to build businesses. On the larger scale, the companies have more power now, and they can manipulate you, and they
Yes.
can make you think and react in certain ways. And big political parties are using this mechanism of the media, and they're controlling the narrative. Unfortunately, it's not very healthy. I mean, the recent example, for example, there is an app that is being built by somebody which was online auctioning Muslim women. And this guy has been arrested, and the person is 21-year-old engineer. Now, it is sad that what kind of, or what amount of hate this 21-year-old kid would have in his heart to be able to go and build that kind of app against Muslim women. Now, my question is that who filled that much of hatred in that 21-year-old kid? Media. Certain type of media, certain type of on Facebook and other thing. So that's a very dangerous thing. And parents, in fact, or young kids like you also need to be consciously thinking that, okay, what is information that I'm feeding to my brain? It's like a software, right? Whatever information you feed into your brain, you will start seeing the world like that. You'll start behaving like that, and you'll be not in your control. So be very conscious about what are you watching on social media, what are you watching on internet, on television. uh, that's how the situation is at the moment. That's why what I think.
Absolutely. Actually, social media has is Facebook is one of the biggest companies in the world because of this. Social media has so much control over our lives. We don't even know about it, and people are not even conscious about it. I agree with you on that. And marketing, I think marketing needs to be changed, and something needs to be done about this, since you can manipulate a person to buy something, do something, and control his thoughts. Essentially, marketing is just psychology, and it matter it you can control a person, his decisions, and not only about buying a product, his attitude, his way of thinking, his lifestyle. You can change it, alter it, and it's such a big thing. but nobody thinks about it, and it's a very big problem. But moving on, sir, branding is also like all about impact and creating value in customer mindset. And sir, can you share some tips as to how you can increase impact and create more value, or make it at least make it seem so for in the eyes of the customer that you're creating some impact in their life?
Look, I would give you a couple of counterintuitive ideas on this, which I genuinely believe in. Rather than going out in the world and trying to communicate and create a value, the need is to move inwards and trying to understand who you are originally and what authentically are the value systems that you believe in. Because what happens is that branding is all about consistency. If people do not see pattern in your behavior, in your actions, then they see inconsistency, then they're finding it very difficult to trust and believe you. And then you're not a trustworthy, credible person. I mean, branding is what people talk behind your back when you're not in the room, right? That's what your brand is. Uh, and to be able to do that, to be able to maintain that, you have to genuinely live your truth. And to be able to live your truth on social, in marketing, on everywhere else, you have to first understand and identify what is your truth, right? What is your core value? What are the fundamental principles that you believe in? And then when you understand that, you simply have to live it. Simply have to live it. And then you don't have to do anything. Okay. I think that's one of the important things that people forget, especially in the young age. They think that I have to follow this, I have to follow that, and I have to do this, and I have to do that because abhi ye trend mein hai, abhi wo trend mein hai, abhi wo trend mein hai. Now imagine if you keep following the latest trend in the market and you are documenting it all on social media. Somebody like me comes onto your social media, scrolls 5 times, and I know, you said this 3 years back, then you said this, then you said this, then you said this. And then I see you on Instagram, I see you on different platform, and I'm like, this person is not authentic. This person is lying. This person is, trying to make fool of the people. So, in order to create a brand for yourself, first, ask yourself question, what is it that is something that you truly believe in, right? And then you live that. After that, you just have to document it. I mean, I go out and I talk what I genuinely believe in. I don't have to create content. I just have to document. It's like my diary. My social media is my diary, which is like I sit at the end of the day and just pen down my thoughts. So on social, I'm just penning down my thoughts. That's it. And when people meet me in person, they are completely not surprised, right? They meet me in person as if they have known me for 5 years because they've been listening to me online, they've been reading my views online, and when they meet me, they see me like this only. They talk to me, and I'm talking exactly the way I'm talking online. So there's absolutely complete pattern, and I think that's what brands are all about. When you're honest and truth, when people can believe in you, that's I would say all about the branding.
Absolutely, sir. I think you have said the most important thing in marketing. If a company does not follow its why, find the company's why, live the why, and show it to the world. Sir, thank you. And also, sir, as you already talked about, sir, advertising using relevance everywhere. Of course, you talked about like Facebook showing you or manipulating what you see. But sometimes what happens is that sometimes you're a person. So anyway, though, sir, can you tell like what are your views on advertising using relevance? And it's creating more problems for society than making a difference for them. What are your views on this? And should this system be removed? And what do you think
Look,
about it?
technology doesn't do anything on its own.
It's 10:30.
Right. Uh, it's the usage of the technology that makes a difference. I mean, nuclear technology or nuclear power has actually destroyed the world, but it is also used to generate power, clean energy, and save the world in that way. Similarly, the ability to have a huge data and analytics on your users can allow you to create solutions which will actually change their world, which will actually change their solve their problems and make their lives better. It also allows you to manipulate them, and that's where the questions of leaderships are. Leadership is not about finding out the right answers. Leadership is all about finding out the right questions. I mean, Peter Parker's uncle Ben told him in Spider-Man that with great power comes great responsibility. And we have to realize it that, okay, humanity has reached a point wherein we have controlled almost everything. I mean, pandemic happened, right? We controlled it. We created the dose and cure, and now we vaccinated the entire world almost. We have not had major war in last 50, 60 years. More people die because of obesity now than because of starvation. We pulled out people out of poverty. Our average life expectancy has doubled in last 50 years. I'm talking about the global numbers. So we are a very powerful species at the moment. Why this has happened? Because of technology. But in isolation, you will also see people who will misuse the technology. And my message to people like you, or young people like you make your choices. And I encourage you to think positively. I encourage you to think that, okay, technology in itself will not destroy the world. As long as there are people who are willing to do good using the technology, the world will keep on prospering and keep on becoming a better place. Yes, there will always be wrong people. Yes, there will always be bad people. Yes, there will always be people who try to take misuse of it. But I would say you keep doing what you can do. I genuinely think that the system cannot be removed, should not be removed. This technology has changed lives for good also. It's up to you. It's absolutely up to you how you use it.
Absolutely, sir. And sir, I think I also agree with you.